here. As a professional, Prabhuji holds a master's degree in system science and automation from the reputed IISc Bangalore. He worked at Ford Motors and TCS Innovation Labs in the capacity of researcher, published 10 papers and a patent. As a monk, he took the order of monkhood in 2009 after a spiritual initiation from His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. He joined the Govardhaniko village in 2010. He has been instrumental in establishing Bhaktivedanta Vidyapeeth and has been leading the intense two-year study course in the traditional Bhakti literatures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. As author, Prabhuji authored more than 30 books, which includes the Subodhini series for systematic study of holy scriptures, Prabha series of storybooks, self-enrichment books like Answer to Life Questions and Disapproved but Not Disowned, and children books like Gita Wisdom Tale and Bhagavatam Tales. They have sold more than 1.5 lakhs copies. He has a special love for scriptural verses, and he has also compiled shloka books like Gita Ratmala and many others. He also monthly authors a e-magazine. He runs a e-magazine called Bhagavad Pradipika. And as a teacher, Prabhuji has been teaching people online and offline to all the age groups, adult and children's. He has also given more than 7,000 hours of spiritual discourses so far. So we are really blessed and thankful to Prabhuji for joining us today. And it's our fortune that Prabhuji agreed to give a exclusive session for all of us here. And let's loudly chant, maybe while being on mute, 3 times Haribol to welcome him. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Thank you, Prabhuji. Grateful.
Hare Krishna. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanaatimirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurinvalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 1 second. Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances to all the devotees who have assembled for today's session from Hyderabad. Today we will discuss the glories of Bhakti Yoga, the glories of Lord Krishna, who maintains all his devotees with so much of love and affection. So I was not given a specific topic. I was asked to speak on something general that may be relevant to all the devotees who are participating in this event. So there is a beautiful shloka in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Ananyas chintayanto mam means devotees who do not think of anything else, who do not get distracted by anything else, but take full shelter, exclusive shelter of Krishna, are taken care by Krishna in various ways. Yejanaha paryupasate. Upasana means worship. Paryupasate means very perfectly, nicely, committedly, dedicatedly worshipping Krishna, right? Without allowing our mind to get distracted or diverted towards anything else, if a devotee worships Krishna, serves Krishna, what does Krishna do to such devotees? Okay, what is the benefit or result of full surrender to Krishna? Krishna explains so beautifully now. ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्य अभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्. For such devotees who are completely dedicated to worshipping me, yogakshemam vahamyaham, I take care of their needs. To be more specific, Krishna says, I supply whatever my devotees lack and I preserve whatever my devotees have. Okay. Whatever we have, Krishna will preserve, will protect. Whatever we don't have, Krishna will provide, he will supply. That's what Krishna says in this shloka. Okay. Now, Yogakshemam Vahamyaham is understood by different people in different ways, according to their preferences or the expectations. So yes, definitely, what Krishna said is correct. Yogakshemam Vahamyaham means he will preserve whatever we have and he will protect, he will supply whatever we don't have. However, this Yoga Kshema words have other meanings also. You know what are they? Yoga means our attempt to connect with Krishna. What is yoga? To link our consciousness with the Lord. That is yoga. So when Krishna says yoga vahamyaham, means he will protect our spiritual inspiration to connect with him. Whatever eagerness or enthusiasm that we show to connect with Krishna also comes from Krishna. Right? Our inspiration to practice Bhakti Yoga also comes from Krishna. When we are eager to serve Krishna, then it is Krishna who arranges guidance for us. Now, many of us, or at least some of us, were not in devotional path some time back, isn't it? But somehow we came in contact with some devotees and slowly, gradually developed some inspiration to serve Krishna, isn't it? But who arranged the devotee association for us? It's Krishna. So our coming in contact with devotees of Krishna is not a random happening. It's not a random event. It's orchestrated by Krishna personally. He must have seen some sincerity in us, some genuine desire in us to connect with him, some genuine eagerness in us to search for the absolute truth. So Krishna will somehow bring us in touch with some devotees and then gives us an opportunity to progress in bhakti, to come closer to his feet. Right? So yoga means our attempt to connect with Krishna, linking our consciousness with Krishna, linking our heart with Krishna. So that is yoga. And Krishna protects our yoga. Means Krishna will help us, support us in our connection with him. He will facilitate our relationship with him by arranging his devotees, by arranging the necessary support and guidance for our spiritual lives. Krishna is taking care of our yoga. That is yoga, our attempt to connect with Krishna. Then what is Kshema? Kshema means Krishna's reciprocation with our attempt, right? So yoga means our attempt to go to Krishna. Kshema means his reciprocation with our attempt, means the prosperity that he gives us, the protection that he gives us. That is Kshema. Right? Many of you are from Andhra, Telangana. Telangana, right? Whatever, Telugu state. When I left Andhra, it was one. Now, last 15 years, I'm in Mumbai side. So, anyways, in Telugu language also, Kshemam, you understand, right? It is protection, right? Krishna will arrange protection. He will only inspire us to come closer to him. When we go close to him, he will only protect us. Full match fixing. Krishna does all this, right? He is too expert in bringing people closer to him, and then he will maintain them also nicely. Poshan. So now there are more deeper meanings to this shloka. Many more. Let me tell you a story first. See, philosophy becomes easily digestible when you hear a story connected to that. So one story. Once there was a great devotee named Arjunacharya. He was writing a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. So he wrote commentary on several chapters, and he eventually came to this 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He came to the 22nd shloka, and he found this shloka, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam, and he came to this line. What is this line? Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. So when he came to this line, he felt, how come Krishna carries the burden of the maintenance of his devotees? Right? Yoga means our connection with Krishna. Kshema means his protection to us, the prosperity that he gives us, the protection that he gives us, the way he maintains us, right? And Krishna, after saying yoga and kshema, he said two more words, vahami and aham. Vahami means to carry, right? I'm carrying this mouse, okay? Carrying. So Krishna says that I will personally carry the burden of the maintenance of my devotees. Right? Vahami, aham, he said. Aham means I will personally do it. I will not outsource it. It's like, there is some, for example, somebody comes to your home. Some very important person comes to your home. Then will you tell your servant or maid servant, go and call him, go and bring him inside? Will you tell that? If it's a very important person? If a postman comes with a courier, you may tell your servant or your child or little boy, just go and collect the courier. But if a very important person comes, you will not tell your servant and go and receive him. You will personally go and receive. He may carry some luggage. Then you will immediately go and pick up that luggage with your own hands. You will accompany that person. You will open the door for the person. You will open his car door and you will make him get down, and you will open the home door and you will take him inside. You will offer him seat, right? If he's your guru or some very important person, you will even wash his feet, right? And you will, whatever small thing that he may need, you will personally make arrangements, right? Aham, I. Krishna says, a devotee is VIP for me. No one is as important as my devotee, Krishna says. Yoga Kshemam Vahami Aham. When a devotee wants to connect with me, I will personally carry the burden of the maintenance of my devotees. Right? Vahami Aham. Aham means I. I will not outsource it to Devatas. Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, Brahma, Shiva, Anarda. You take care of this devotee. He doesn't say that. He doesn't outsource it. He doesn't outsource it to his energies or expansions or Devatas or servants. He will personally come. Right? That is his love for his devotees. Yoga Kshemam Vahami Aham. So when this line came, this Arjunacharya, who is writing a commentary on Bhagavad Gita, he felt, why should Krishna carry the burden of the maintenance of one of his devotees? Why he has to take care of it personally? He has so many servants. Actually, Arjunacharya did not exactly doubt Krishna's intentions in saying this shloka, but he kind of felt a bit uncomfortable. Why should Krishna carry burden of maintenance? No. I'm not comfortable to receive service from Krishna. He should not do it personally. He should outsource it to somebody. He should delegate it to somebody. So he has cut off that line. He struck it off. Right? Then, because he sat thinking about that shloka, there was a delay in his going out for begging. So generally his practice is just before lunchtime, he will go out to beg from different houses, right? Some food. Okay. So this is Brahmana. He doesn't work. He doesn't have a corporate job. He's a simple Brahmana. He would just survive on the begging that he does. So that day he went out late. By the time he went out for begging, so all the people in the neighborhood, they already ate and they emptied their home, emptied their vessels, and they washed them also, and they were sleeping. They were taking rest. He is not getting much. He's going from door to door. Meanwhile, his wife was alone at her home. So this wife was waiting for the husband to come back. So, but husband did not come back. He was searching for more food, to get some food. Then two little boys came. So they knocked the door, and she opened the door. And she found two little boys, one who has dark complexion, another has a fair complexion, and they were carrying so many food items. So this lady asked the boys, who are you? Why are you coming to our house? Why are you bringing all these items to us? Then they said that we are the disciples of Arjunacharya. we are fruits with us. So we are supposed to deliver it to you. So you please accept these items and give the empty baskets to us. Otherwise, your husband will punish us. He will beat us. So you should do it quickly. There should not be any delay in it. Then she said, okay, all the story is good, but one point I didn't like in what you said. My husband is never so cruel that he would punish innocent children like you. He will never punish. Then the boy said, no, he punishes. He's very strict. He's extremely strict. He has great expectations from his disciples, from his servants. See, and the dark boy especially, he turned his back towards this lady and showed some marks on his back. And she was surprised. My God, my husband like punished you in this way? There were marks on your back. So she felt very awkward and very embarrassed. And then she called the little child inside and applied some chandan on those marks and said, don't worry, my dear child, your marks will go away, your pain will go away. And she accepted the grains and she started cooking. And the boys left and she cooked and she started eating also. Meanwhile, Arjunacharya came with empty hands. So whenever Arjunacharya comes home, his wife would come out respectfully and then receive him nicely, but this time she was indifferent. She was not coming out. She was not giving any water to wash his feet. She is sitting and eating. So generally her practice is to feed her husband, and after he eats, she eats. But this time she's not doing all that. She's not even getting up. She's not even receiving him with mild words, with gentle words. She's sitting and eating indifferently. So Arjunacharya saw her behavior, and he also saw so many grains and vegetables and fruits lying there on the in the home. So he had two questions. Question number one: where did you get all these ingredients for cooking? Second is, why are you so indifferent to me? Why your behavior is changed now? Then she said, yeah, your disciples only brought this food items. You only have sent all these ingredients with your students, right? Yeah, they have brought sincerely, but I am indifferent to you because I didn't like your behavior. You have punished two young boys, two little children. Is it appropriate to beat them like that? You make them do so much hard work for you. You make them carry so many items for you, for your maintenance, for your family maintenance, and you are beating them. Then Arjunacharya was very surprised. He said, no, I never sent my students with food items. They are not my disciples. And how do they look like? She described. One was dark, one was fair. They both are like very small children. Then Arjunacharya felt something, and then he went to the room where he was writing the commentary, and he saw Yoga Kshema Bahamyaham. He has striked up that line, right? So again the line manifested. Then Arjunacharya understood, oh, the boys who came to our home, the boys who gave darshan to my wife are Krishna and Balaram. So he went and congratulated his wife. You are so fortunate. You are so fortunate to have the darshan of Krishna and Balaram, but I did not have that fortune of seeing them because I did not have faith in what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. Yoga Kshemam Bahamyaham. I did not have faith. I have striked off Krishna's words. Such a great offense. Of course, he didn't mean to offend Krishna, but he felt, why should Krishna carry the burden of the maintenance of his devotees personally? No need. So, but Krishna proved that I will definitely carry the burden of the maintenance of my devotees. So to prove his words true, Krishna did this. Now, Krishna is not obliged to prove himself in front of anybody and everybody. He does it only with sincere devotees. Right? Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, Naham prakashah sarvasya yoga maya samavritaha. Means I'm not obliged to reveal myself towards anyone. So some people, whenever I appear in a human form, some people underestimate me. They don't take me seriously. But I'm not obliged to prove myself to them that I exist. If they don't believe that I exist, let them be atheists. Not a problem. I don't have any inclination to just go and convince them, right? So I have enough fan following. I don't need anyone else to upper class. So in this way, Krishna carries the burden of the maintenance of his devotees personally, right? So he proved himself. Now Arjunacharya got this faith. Now let's go deep into these words. Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Krishna will personally take care of the maintenance of his devotees. That's the meaning that we have seen. Krishna will supply whatever devotees lack, and Krishna will preserve whatever the devotees have. That also we have seen. But if I don't have a car, Krishna will supply car to me. If a devotee does not have a big bangla, Krishna will supply that bangla to the devotees. Or if a devotee has 100 acres land and is doing business, he may get into losses. He may have to sell out 50 acres of land and retain only 50 acres. Will Krishna do the needful to protect the 50 acres land? Not necessary. Although Krishna said, I will preserve whatever my devotees have and I will supply whatever my devotees don't have, not necessary that Krishna will give us the money that we need, or Krishna will provide us with the material facilities that we lack, or Krishna will preserve the material prosperity that we have, property that we have. Not necessary. How many times you have pure devotees, elevated devotees of Krishna, struggle for some food? So he's a great devotee of Krishna, but he does not have poha. He does not have one dhoti to cover his body. His dhoti has 100 holes and he would put a knot. Probably he did not even have a needle and thread to stitch it properly. He would just put a knot. So entire dhoti was filled with knots only. Okay. And Kuchailam Marilam Kshamam Dvijam Dhamani Santatam means all his bones are visible. He was so emaciated, so thin. Okay, Sudama. And Pandavas were there. Pandavas, although they are exalted devotees of Krishna, close associates of Krishna, Darshana, Sparsha, Samlapa, Shayanasana, Bhojanai. So devotees are into taking darshan of Krishna. Which Pandavas had close darshan of Krishna. They were seeing Krishna. Darshana, Sparsha, they were touching Krishna. Samlapa, they were conversing with Krishna. Shayana, they are sleeping with Krishna. Asana, they are sitting with Krishna. Bhojanai, they are eating with Krishna. So we have 6 loving exchanges with other devotees, but the Pandavas were having 6 loving exchanges with Krishna directly, right? So that is their position. So these Pandavas, how many difficulties they had to undergo? Their house was set on fire. Kunti Maharani says, Vishan Mahagne Purusha Dadarshana Asatsabhaya Vanavasa Kritsratah Mridhe Mridhe Neka Maharathastrato Hare Bhirakshita. Bhima, when he was a child, Mahagnehe, and they were about to be burnt to ashes. Mahagnehe Purushata Darshanaha. They also encountered some man-eating demons, human-eating demons like Hidimbasur, Bakasur. Bhima killed them finally. Okay. Shan Mahagnehe Purushata Darshanat Asat Sabhaya. In that Asat Sabha, in that bad assembly, where so many gamblers and heinous people were there, Draupadi was insulted. Dushasana tried to disrobe her in public, and Krishna, of course, came and protected. But so many things happened like this. Purushada Darshanat Satsabhaya Vanavasa Krichrataha. How many difficulties they faced in Vanavas? Okay. Vanavasa Krichrataha Mridhe Mridhe Aneka means repeatedly. So many Maharathis and Atirathis, they were showering Arjuna with hundreds of weapons, right? So like that, the kind of difficulties that Pandavas faced in their life were really unlimited. Pure devotees, if Krishna is really Yoga Kshema Mahamyaham, Why Pandavas face so many difficulties? Why Kunti Maharani faces so many difficulties? Why Draupadi is suffering so much? Why Sita Devi is suffering and separation from Lord Ramachandra? Why Ram himself is suffering? Right? He's checked out of Ayodhya, right? At the same Muhurta as his Pattabhisheka. So we see that the universal history, the spiritual history of this universe is filled with the stories of devotees who underwent so many difficulties despite having unlimited devotion for Krishna. And how is the statement of Krishna, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham, justified? Now, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham, if you read that line, you may think that Krishna is such a great protector. He will preserve whatever the devotees have. He will supply whatever the devotees don't have. It's very nice to hear Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. But apart from Arjunacharya's story, how many stories are there where this statement is justified? And how many stories are there where this statement is kind of compromised in one sense, apparently? So the answer is very profound, very deep, and not very straightforward also. So Krishna said, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. But many of the readers of Bhagavad Gita, they forget to notice, they fail to notice a small star above that Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. And if you notice that star will point out to the footnote, star, conditions apply. Right? Star conditions apply. You see, sometimes there are big boards, 50% discount, 70% discount, but there is a small star, 50% in big letters, 10 feet big, and star is just like 1 inch small. So that star. And if you say terms and conditions apply, right? And if you see the conditions, only when you purchase, only when your purchase is like beyond 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees, 50% discount is applicable. Right? Only when you have so and so card, SBI card, or I don't know, I don't have any cards now. Only then it is applicable. Only if you are a regular customer of that home, that showroom, you have been purchasing from them for last 3-4 years, then they will give you discount. So there are so many terms and conditions apply. Here also, Krishna said, Yoga Kshema Mahamyam, star, conditions apply. What are the terms and conditions of Krishna? Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. You see, first 3 lines are proper conditions. Generally, when you put a star there, conditions are given at the bottom. But Krishna kept the conditions first and then gave the main statement. Yoga Kshema Mahamyam is in the 4th line, at the bottom line. And on top, there are 3 lines. What are they? Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Don't think of anything else except me. Then, second, Ye Janaha Pari Upasate. Pari Upasata. Upasana means worship of Krishna. Pari Upasana means perfect and complete worship of Krishna. Right? Ananyas Chintayanto Pari Upasate. Right? 2 things. What is the third line? Yesham Nitya Abhiyuktanam. Nitya Abhiyuk should regularly worship him. You should regularly engage yourself in the process of Bhakti Yoga. Right? I didn't think of anything else that day, Sunday or Janmashtami day. Second line. Okay, second condition is applicable. Perfect and complete. Very positive. Yes, my worship is perfect. That day I worship very perfectly. But the third condition is Nitya Abhiyuktanam. Are you doing only on Janmashtami day or every day? Nitya means every day, regularly, constantly, consistently. So Krishna is expecting perfection in worship and consistency in worship. You should worship perfectly, not once in a while. You should consistently do it daily. So 3 conditions are already set in the first 3 lines. And in the 4th line, he declared Yoga Kshema Mahamya. Okay. So fine. Coming back to the examples that we discussed, Kunti Maharani, Pandavas, Draupadi, and many Ambarish Maharaj, then Chitraketu Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, so many people are there, right? So many great pure devotees are there. They fulfill the first 3 conditions. Right? Bali Maharaj, Sudama, right? Suklambar Brahmachari, they all fulfill the first 3 conditions, right? Star conditions, all terms and conditions that are applied are fulfilled by them. But still, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham, did it work in them? When in their cases? Sudama is definitely Pariyupasate, he is doing, and he is perfect worship, daily he is doing Shravanam Kirtanam, but why he does not have even little poha in his home? Why he has to beg that poha from a neighboring house even to take it as a gift for Krishna? Why his dhoti has 100 knots, 100 holes? So did you ever think about it? Why his body has, his rib cage is visible so much, right? So it's like a skeleton with a thin bed sheet on his body. That's how his body looked like. There's hardly any flesh. There's only hardly any fat. So that's how emaciated he was. So although first three conditions, terms and conditions are fulfilled, still Yogakshamam Mahamyam is not happening. In the case of some devotees, did you ever think about it? So let me clarify the last line more. You know what is that? I will supply whatever you need and I will preserve whatever you have. You know what? I will supply whatever you need for your bhakti. But although you want it, if I feel that you don't need it for your survival in bhakti, I will not give it. Getting it right? This is made very easily. This can be easily understood with examples. I'll give examples also. So Krishna will not supply whatever we need, or whatever we want, or whatever we don't have. Krishna will supply it to us only if he feels that it is required for our advancement in bhakti. And Krishna will not preserve whatever we have. Krishna will preserve it only if he thinks that what we have is useful for our bhakti. If he thinks that what we have is not useful for our bhakti, he will take it away from us. If he thinks that what we don't have is not needed for our bhakti, he will not give it to us even if you ask 100 times. Right? So we need to trust Krishna's integrity and intentions. So a sincere devotee is one who never doubts Krishna's integrity, who never doubts Krishna's intentions. Whatever, never doubt Krishna's intentions or integrity. That's important. So apparently, devotees are put in certain circumstances where the situation is very unpalatable, very uncomfortable, very difficult to survive. So Krishna will put us into such situations, but those situations are tests for our faith. So Krishna is testing our faith, how faithful we are, how loyal we are, how dedicated we are. Krishna is testing us, right? So we should pass the test. Sometimes when there are difficulties in life, devotees may lose their faith in Krishna. I am worshipping Krishna since 1 year, 2 years. I am chanting Hare Krishna since 3 years, 5 years, but nothing is happening. I'm not. See, the product of your chanting, right? Or getting a lottery or getting good marks in your exam are not the products of your chanting or your bhakti. Yeah, you may get them if Krishna desires, but there is something more that a pure devotee aspires for. So material prosperity may be required for our survival in this world, but it should not be the ultimate aspiration of a practicing devotee, right? And Krishna will never give it to us if he thinks that we don't need it. If he thinks that having material prosperity will distract us from our bhakti. If I make him very opulent and very wealthy, he may forget me. Krishna feels insecure, to keep it in a lighter note. He may think that, oh, this devotee, if we give him so much of wealth, he may lose bhakti. He may get distracted from bhakti. So let me not distract this devotee. Okay, if poverty is beneficial for this devotee to stay in bhakti, let me keep him poverty-stricken forever. But if wealth is required for him to practice bhakti peacefully, I will give him wealth also. Okay. So let me tell some examples. Sudama's example, for example. So Sudama is a poor Brahmana. Okay. But although he's a very nice devotee, exalted devotee, elevated devotee, there is one problem with Sudama. All of you know Sudama, right? So Sudama definitely was a nice devotee, but he had some pride. He was a little proud. Not so proud like Duryodhan, but some little pride. Thoda sa. Okay. And why is he proud? He was proud of his own detachment. He is thinking that I'm very renounced. I don't need a proper dhoti to wear. I'm so detached. I don't need food to fill my belly. Actually, Brahmanas are supposed to beg. Means they are allowed to beg. So he can always go out, beg some food and fill his belly and feed his family. But he's a bit stubborn. He's saying that I will not beg. If it comes on its own, then only I will take. Otherwise, I will not beg. So he is attached to his detachment. Many people are attached to their material prosperity, wealth, money, status, etc. But Sudama was attached to his detachment. Okay. So Krishna thought, I have to make him humble. It's a long story. Maybe another time we can discuss the details of Sudama's story. But now I'll just give it only as an example for this current concept of Ananyas Chintayantam Shloka. So Sudama went to Krishna and Krishna gave him unlimited wealth. He did not reveal it in Dwaraka. So Krishna came back, sorry, Sudama came back to his home and he didn't find his small hut. What did he find? He found a big palace. And from that palace, his wife came out lavishly decorated with all kinds of ornaments, and she was like a queen. And Sudama was a poor Brahmana, wife was looking like a princess. And then Sudama entered the palace and continued to live there in an opulent bungalow. But why did Krishna give him wealth? You may quote this as an example of Yogakshema Mahamyaham, but Krishna gave wealth to Sudama to humble him. Oh, you are so detached. You are so detached that you don't have money. You are so attached to your detachment. Okay, you are so proud that you don't have money and you don't want money. So I will give you money. I will give you wealth and make you humble. Right? By giving wealth to Sudama, Krishna made him humble. Krishna destroyed his pride. Okay. So on the other hand, we have Bali Maharaj. You know Bali Maharaj? He was the grandson of Prahalad Maharaj. So Lord Krishna went in front of Bali Maharaj in the form of Vamanadev, small Brahmana boy. And he said, Bali, I just want 3 steps of land. And Bali offered the 3 steps of land. And initially Bali said, oh, you're a small boy. What is good for you? And you don't understand that you can't do much with 3 steps of land, because the boy said, I want only 3 steps of land with the measurement of my steps, not your steps. And the boy is so tiny, his steps are this much only. And Bali thought that these small steps, that only 3, what will you do with it? I can give you 1 island, I can give you 1 village, I can make you the king of my half of my kingdom. I will give you gold, I will give you silver, I will give you so much. Then the Lord said, you may be very charitable, you may be inclined to give as much charity as people need, but I should just focus on my need only. If I am not satisfied with 3 steps of land, I won't be satisfied with 3 worlds also. So just give me 3 steps of land, sufficient. Then our Bali Maharaj said, okay, fine, take 3 steps of land. And within 2 steps, Vamanadev occupied the entire universe and asked Bali, where is the 3rd step? The Bali said, put on my head. Now I have a question for you. If Vamanadev has occupied the entire universe within 2 steps, within the universe only Bali Maharaj is also sitting, right? If entire universe is required to cover 2 steps of Vamanadev, 1 little head of Bali Maharaj, is it sufficient for the 3rd step? The answer is simple. Property and proprietor are always different, right? Say you purchase some 100 acres property from some landlord, and the landlord is standing in the property and says, okay, take this land. Will you go and say, you are also mine only? You are also standing in the land, right? Land is mine and you are also mine. You will become my servant. No, right? Property and proprietor are different. So you occupy the property and the proprietor is always away from the property. Right? Proprietor will not become your servant. You cannot occupy the proprietor. You only occupy his property. So the Lord has occupied the 3 worlds, the property of Bali Maharaj, and the proprietor also, he wants the proprietor also. You also become my servant. Then Bali Maharaj said, put your third feet on my head, and then the Lord put, and then accepted him also. So in the case of Sudama, the Lord has given so much of prosperity to Sudama. Then you may think the Lord is Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. But in the case of Bali Maharaj, he has taken away all the property. I will preserve whatever you have. Whatever. In fact, although Indra was king of heaven, he is a Devata, king of Devatas, and Bali is a demon, king of demons. Still, the Lord saw that Bali is a better devotee than Indra. But he is giving all prosperity to Indra, Yogakshema Mahandra, and in the case of Bali, the Lord has taken away all his property. Why is this contradictory behavior? Basically, the Lord saw that Bali Maharaj was little proud of his charitable disposition. He was thinking that I am a Mahadata. Okay, I am very charitable. He was thinking like that. The Lord wanted to humble him. Oh, you are a great Data. You are a great charitable person. Okay, I will prove that you cannot even give 3 steps of land also in charity. So, Bali Maharaj gave 3 steps of land in charity, and Vamanadev proved that Bali Maharaj does not even have 3 steps of land with him. He said, Bali, you have given me a check and that got bounced. You don't have sufficient bank balance with you. So what kind of charity is this? Too much. So he kind of humbled him, humiliated him in front of everyone. Okay. So this is how the Lord destroys the pride of his devotees. So the Lord destroyed Sudama's pride by giving him wealth. The Lord destroyed Bali's pride by taking away his wealth. Right? Because pride is an obstacle in one's bhakti. If one has pride in the heart, garva in the heart, then Krishna will do the needful to destroy that garva, destroy that pride, so that we come closer to Krishna. Right? So apparently it seems that Yogakshemam Vahamyaham statement is true in the case of Sudama and not true in the case of Bali. But it is not the truth. In both cases, although Krishna's dealings with the devotees are opposite here, but the fact is he dealt with them equally. He destroyed the pride in their heart. So Sudama was proud of his detachment and Bali was proud of his charitable disposition, and Krishna gave wealth to Sudama and destroyed his pride in detachment, and Krishna took away all the wealth of Bali and he humbled him. He destroyed the pride in his charitable disposition. In this way, the Lord is supreme well-wisher of all living beings. Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. So he will supply whatever you need only if it is really required for your bhakti, and you will preserve whatever you have only if it is really required for your bhakti. But he will not supply whatever you need or whatever you want if he thinks that it isn't, you don't need it for your bhakti. And he will not preserve what you have if he thinks that it is not required for your bhakti. Whatever is required for our spiritual advancement, that only he will give us. It's like a small child goes to the mother and says, I want ice cream. I want ice cream. Mother says, I will not give you. Right? Mother is supposed to take care of the child. But the mother is not even giving ice cream to the child because she knows that if this fellow eats ice cream, he will catch more cold. He's already having cold and cough. So I can't spoil his health by giving him more ice cream. So that's why the child's desire is not being fulfilled by the mother. But if the child goes to the shopkeeper and gives whatever, 20 rupees, 30 rupees, 50 rupees, I don't know the cost of ice cream now. So just gives that money, and the shopkeeper will just give, ask him, take this. Because for the shopkeeper, money matters. For mother, child's health matters. Right? So mother gives whatever the child needs for his health and not whatever child wants. But the shopkeeper is different. So we cannot have a temple, you should give me a car. I gave you bananas to you on Sunday in your temple, you should give me lottery. Okay, get protection. You should work like that. If Krishna thinks that it is still advancement, that only he will give it. So we as our mother, as our father. Tvameva vatsashraya bhritya vatsalam mumukshubhirmrugyapabja paddhatim ananya bhave nija dharma bhavite manasya vasthapya bhajasva purusham. Mother Suniti told Dhruva, her son, whatever you need, you worship the Supreme Lord, because he will fulfill the needs of a devotee in such a way that the devotee advances in bhakti and not degrades in bhakti. So the Lord is well-wisher. The Lord is supreme well-wisher of all his devotees. So you see there is another episode. If you go to Vrindavan, there's a fruit seller. So she brought some fresh fruits and she started announcing in the streets of Vrindavan. If anyone wants fresh fruits, you can come and collect from me. Then Krishna, who was hardly 2-3-year-old boy at the time, he wanted fruits. And he has seen his elders whenever they want fruits, the fruits will offer fruits, right? It was not rupees or dollars in those days. Okay, so Krishna saw his elders doing that, so he also picked up few grains in his little hands and ran very enthusiastically, very eagerly towards the fruit seller. But by the time Krishna reached the fruit seller, hardly any few grains were left in his hands. Already his hands were very tiny. To the top of it, he was running, and on the beautiful, charming face of Krishna, and felt that, I don't need his grains. I want to see him smile. She accepted the grains and she filled Krishna's hands with fruits, as many as he could hold. Probably the number of fruits that she has given to Krishna were more than the number of grains she received from Krishna. Okay, so she gave so many fruits to Krishna, and Krishna accepted the fruits, and her basket was filled with jewels, as you know the story. Now the lesson is that this lady, was she greedy for the jewels? You know what she did? She went back to her home, got more fruits and gave it to Krishna. Not that he will give me more jewels. He was thinking that if I give fruits to this boy, he will smile in happiness. And I just want to make Krishna happy. Seeing smile on Krishna's face, making Krishna happy is the only objective of a devotee who serves Krishna. No other material expectations. When we serve Krishna so selflessly in this way, Krishna will take care of us. Yoga Kshemam, whatever he needs, otherwise he will not give us. Right? So we don't have to worry so much about our maintenance. Yes, we need to do the needful with God-given intelligence to survive in this world, that's fine. But it is Krishna who takes care, who carries the burden of the maintenance of his devotees, provided we have complete faith in him, complete faith in his intentions and integrity. Okay. Now you see the example of Avanti Brahmana. There's a Brahmana named, his name we don't know, but he is staying in Avantipura. So this Brahmana was very miserly. He has a lot of wealth, but he is very miserly, not give anything to anyone. So he has a lot of wealth and he wouldn't use it for his relatives or worship or even for himself. His relatives left him and he lost all his wealth. So all the friends and family members also abandoned him. Then he realized, my dear Lord, I was so attached to my wealth. Now you made me like a poor beggar. So you are my only shelter. I don't have any other shelter other than you. So by taking away all the wealth of Avanti Brahman here in his bhakti, right? So the main lesson is that Krishna will supply whatever we need for advancement in bhakti. Krishna will preserve whatever we have if it helps us advance in bhakti. It's not a flat statement where Krishna says, oh, I will supply whatever my devotees don't have and I will preserve whatever they have. So whatever they need for their advancement in bhakti, for their spiritual life, that I will supply. Okay. So these are the intentions of Krishna. There are unlimited such stories and shlokas that we can quote to substantiate this wonderful concept of how Krishna is the supreme well-wisher of his devotees. Thank you very much. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments? We have 8 more minutes to discuss. If there are no questions, then we can complete the call. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah, while we conclude this, we all had one humble request, like, whenever next you are in Hyderabad, please plan to visit us if that is possible. That works out for you.
Yes, sure. Sure. Next time, whenever possible, I'll just come. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji,
Yes. You can speak. I can hear you. Hare Krishna. I can hear. You can speak.
Prabhuji Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Prabhuji. So in the first 3 conditions, like star mark is there, Krishna told like those things.
Mataji, can you type
We
the
can't
question in
hear
the
you.
chat? Can you type the question, Mataji? In the meantime, we can take some other question.
Is going to fill. So how can we take it? Is a karmic reaction we are going it, or Krishna only fulfilling our desire in this way? So there is 2 things, like Krishna is giving this thing, though we are not consistent in our bhakti or perfection in worshipness or remembering Krishna, but still he is fulfilling the desire. So it is kind of karmic reaction we can take. It is going towards the bhakti, or Krishna is fulfilling because it is needed in our bhakti.
I didn't get the first half of the question. You're asking, is it bhakti or karma, something like that? But I didn't get the initial part of the question. If you can repeat it.
Mataji,
Yes,
can you
Prabhuji.
type?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question was, few times we desire something and we receive it. So how can we take it? It is in this verse, like we are not consistent in remembering Krishna and all. So how can we take it? It is a karmic reaction we receive it, or it is Lord is reciprocating with our
It
this
can
thing.
be both, depending on our consciousness. Ultimately, nothing can happen without Krishna's sanction, right? The quote unquote karmic reaction that you're talking about is also arranged by Krishna only, right? So devotee's perception is, whether it is happiness or distress, everything is an arrangement of Krishna in my life. Even the karmic reaction, the reaction to our good and bad deeds, that is also arranged by Krishna only. What is law of karma? It is law of Krishna. It is the law of karma is created by Krishna. Therefore, it is Krishna's arrangement by which we are experiencing happiness or distress on a material plane also. Without super soul sanction, we cannot even get material distress also, or material happiness also. So the more we are advanced in bhakti, the more we will see Krishna's hand in all circumstances of life. And it is only by Krishna's grace and Krishna's arrangement, then we are advancing in bhakti. If you are merely saying it's all karma, destiny, fate, and what is that? Work is worship. Whatever good things we do, we will get results. Where is God? So that's karma mimamsa philosophy and all. There is no God in picture. There is no Krishna in picture. I am working hard. I am getting results. People attribute it to their own work. But a devotee does the same work, may get similar reactions, but he will attribute it to Krishna. Krishna arranged this for us. It's our consciousness change only, right? So karma, we can see it as a result of our past misdeed in a karmic thought process, but we can see it as awarded by Krishna in a devotional thought process. Okay, so this devotee has this devotional consciousness, a materialistic person has karmic consciousness, but whatever it may be, it's ultimately arrangement of Krishna, but only devotee can recognize it, karmi cannot recognize it. Okay, Mataji. Next question.
Abhishek Prabhu, would you like to answer?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, you told that Krishna gives us whatever we need for the spiritual advancement, right? But Krishna, there are many people who have these kind of things, let's say wealth, right? A lot of people who have these kind of things and they are not devotee of Krishna, or they have nothing to do with spiritual advancement or anything. So, what is the reason that they are given such kind of thing? Why Krishna gives them all these kind of things, which uh, which he doesn't give to the people or to the devotees who he wants to be advanced in spiritually?
Why Krishna gives material prosperity to non-devotees?
Was I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why Krishna is giving prosperity to non-devotees? Devotees who are not
prosperity, happiness, any such kind of thing.
Okay. The reason is simple. They did some activities in the past, some pious activities, some good activities, and Krishna is giving them the results of their past good deeds. But currently, if you do bad deeds, they will lose what they have now eventually, and next life they may get a more degraded one. It's like simple, very simple. Say somebody studied very nicely in +1 and +2, intermediate. Okay, in Andhra language. Okay, intermediate they did very well. They got seat in a very, very good engineering college. So as a result of their past good studies, they got seat in a good college. But in that good engineering college, they don't study well. They will not get good entrance into master's college. They will not get a good job in campus interviews, right? So the current prosperity is a result of past good activities. But currently, if one is not doing good activities, future will not be prosperous. So they will enjoy the results of their past good activities for whatever time they are destined to enjoy, and after that, gone. Enjoyment is gone. Matter closed. Okay. Next.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hitamrit Pranam. Yeah, thank you so much for the wonderful class, Prabhu. And my question is, Prabhu, when I read the Bhagavad Gita, then all time the condition is applied. Krishna, all the things, whatever is favorable for bhakti, and they all are for Ananya Chintayantu Mam and the Shuddha Bhaktas for all. The Bhagavad Gita is full of the condition apply. It is my realization. Krishna give every time he gives the condition. So how here also the Ananya Chintayantu Mam, 3 condition are here: perfect and complete worship of Krishna, and regular engage worship in Krishna. So how can we in a practical way, how can we achieve this conditions
how can we achieve in this condition? We are trying, but sometimes we fail in this Ananya Chintyanto Mam and all the
Correct.
conditions. So
Most
what should we
practical
do?
way, most practical way of fulfilling these conditions is to be with those devotees who are sincerely attempting to fulfill those conditions. Basically, devotees association, right? So when we see more sincerity in other devotees than what we have, we should borrow their sincerity, not borrow. We should take their sincerity by being with them, and by inspiring us, their sincerity will only increase. Okay, so sincerity, dedication are not destructible assets. If they have $100, if you take 50 from them, they will be left with only 50. But if they have this much sincerity and you take all that from them, their sincerity will be increased. Right? Their dedication will be increased. And by inspiring you to dedicate to Krishna more, their dedication will increase. So this is only expanding. So by sharing, we gain. If it is a material commodity, by sharing, you lose. By giving it to others, your property will be reduced. But if it is spiritual knowledge, spiritual inspiration, by giving it to others, you will also gain more blessings. So you need to accept it from others who have more sincerity, right? I can see in your congregation only, in your group only, there are more devotees who may be very sincere. So by seeing them, by associating with them, we can also collectively and individually advance in our bhakti nicely. Next question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. I don't have a question, Prabhuji, but yeah, thank you for that analogy of Bali Maharaj, where you told the property and the proprietor are different. Because a logical brain is usually the logical in a frame of reference of material things. I used to think that how it is possible that two universes are given and still he has something to offer because everything comes under universe. But that analogy clarified that doubt that I had a long time, but I couldn't ask anyone. So thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. Looking for more associations. Thank you.
So what was that analogy you said? I forgot.
You said property and proprietor are two different things to offer.
Correct. Yeah.
So I used to think that how it is possible, but then I did not ask anybody this question because I thought it is in Shastras. I trust my Guru, I trust Shastras. So maybe some perspective which I'm not able to understand, but it may be a very basic question. But this analogy and this line exactly clarified that how should we look at it from different perspective and understand that Krishna is still showering the mercy even if whatever he's doing. So thank you for that perspective.
Next question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So my doubt was that many people have they have a lot of past karma, like it can be bad also. So what can they do to remove that past karma so that they can they get some good karma?
So you know this shloka, कर्माणि निर्दहति किन्तु च भक्तिभाजां गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. If we worship Lord Govinda, karma will be burned to ashes, right? Good karma, bad karma, both will be burned to ashes. It's not that we are interested in good karma and we are not interested in bad karma. Whether it is good karma or bad karma, ultimately it is material only, and we have to burn it to ashes by doing bhakti. Karmani nirdahati. Dahati means burnt. Nirdahati means certainly, completely, perfectly burnt. Right? So if you take some wet grass and try to burn it, a lot of smoke comes and the wet grass will not be burned completely. If you take a piece of dry grass and then put one mass within a moment, right? So just like fire burns dry grass, bhakti burns any kind of karma. Okay. So by practicing bhakti, what is bhakti? By chanting the names of Krishna, by hearing Krishna's pastimes, you can practice bhakti, and that sincere practice of bhakti will burn all the karmas to ashes. Okay, fine. Tuvisha.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Then
Next
now.
question.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
Prabhuji, I want to ask one thing, Prabhuji. Is if we have a faith in Krishna, full faith we have, and if sometimes we have a problem in life, so how do we get motivated? Sometimes we get demotivated, but we have full faith. So is there anything that we get fully motivated and keep on doing our thing so that we can come out from it, come out from the suffering?
Yeah, when we are practicing devotees, we are sadhakas, not siddha purushas, right? We are
Yes.
sadhakas.
Yes.
So in the practice stage, sometimes our motivation and our consistency, our inspiration will just go up and down. And if that phases, down phases are intermittent once in a while, it's fine. It's natural, understood. But if it's long phases of demotivation, longer periods of loneliness, longer periods of inconsistency, that's not good for our advancement. But if they come and go once in a while, it's fine. We understand because we are work in progress. But the point is that you mentioned something very important. We have faith. But our motivation and consistency may go down once in a while, but we have faith.
Yes.
That protecting that faith is very important. We should not lose faith. The greatest loss is not losing one's bungalow, not losing one's land, not losing one's money, not losing one's property. Losing one's faith in Krishna is the greatest loss in this life. Okay. So we should not lose that faith. As long as that faith is there, although our consistency and motivation may go down sometimes, we'll immediately resonate. We'll come back soon. Right? Somebody may walk on the road and they may slip, trip, and fall down. And they have to get up, right? How will they get up? They will again take shelter of the road, of the earth only, and then push themselves up, right? So because of walking on this road, I fell on the road. So I will not walk on this road. I will fly. Will you fly or what? We cannot fly, right? So we need to take again that shelter of the same path. So similarly, while walking on the path of bhakti, sometimes we may fall and trip. We can't say, I will not walk on the path of bhakti anymore. Any other path? Back to Godhead? No other path, by the way, for your information. So better we walk on the same path. So like we are sadhakas, right? We are work in progress. No construction is happening around me. So many things are happening. That's why I'm shouting sometimes. So when a building is being constructed, the place is not very pleasant. In a construction site, you cannot peacefully go and sleep on your bed. So some people are coming with their stones and bricks and iron and cement and reti and all kinds of instruments, and they're making sounds. The drillers are there, cranes are there, JCBs are there, pipelines are there. My God, construction site is a big mess, right? So in that messy environment, you cannot peacefully sleep. But once the building is completed, paint is there, done, flush is working, lights are working, electricity is there, then you can peacefully stay in the room, right? Similarly, when we are doing sadhana, we are like work in progress. Okay, we cannot be peaceful. Sometimes our motivation goes down, our faith, our consistency goes down. We may feel like chanting today, and after 2 days we may feel today I will not chant. We feel like attending. So the consistency levels go down. But the good news is it's work in progress. Ensure that work is in progress and work doesn't halt. Okay, work should just continue to progress. So while progressing, there are some sounds, unpleasant sounds. Sound. I'm hearing that sound now. Oh my God, terrible! I closed all windows here. So construction sound is there. Because of this mic, you are unable to hear, but I am able to hear. My ears are open. So yeah, we just have to tolerate. We have to maintain hope in Krishna. We need to pray for consistency. We need to pray for motivation. Next question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the class. I have this doubt. So we believe that if we commit any sin, in our next life we'll be born as an animal or any bird. But if in the same way a Brahmana commits a sin unconsciously or by mistakenly if he commits a sin, what will happen to him in the next life? Because he performs many kinds of bhakti and all, he walks in the bhakti way. So by mistakenly if he commits a sin, what will be happening in the next life?
I have one question for you. Is that sin committed intentionally or by mistake?
By mistakenly.
By mistake. If it is an unintentional sin, Krishna will forgive that person. He will excuse. You want a reference? Go to the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Read shloka number 30 and 31. Krishna says, Api chet suduracharo bhajate mamananya bhak sadhureva samantavyah samyak vyavasito hisaha. When a devotee happens to commit a sin, abominable sin, but unintentionally, accidentally, incidentally, not purposely, not in a premeditated way, not in a not wantedly, right? If he does a mistake by mistake, then Krishna will excuse that devotee. Krishna will forgive that devotee, and the devotee can continue the practice of bhakti, right? So, and even if a devotee doesn't happen to complete one's bhakti and become perfect devotee within one lifetime, then also no problem. Krishna will give another opportunity to that devotee to continue the practice of bhakti in the next life. He will ensure that this devotee who had incomplete practice of bhakti will take birth in a devotee family so that he can continue from where he left. So in this life, if somebody does BTech and dies, next life he cannot continue from MTech, by the way, right? So, but bhakti is not like that. In this life, you have completed your bhakti practice 50%, right? Next life, you can continue from 51%. Okay. So there is a lot of hope and security in the process of bhakti. Okay, there is nothing that does not mean we wantedly commit sins. Purposely we should not commit sins, but by mistake, if some mistake happens through us, Krishna will forgive us. Krishna will excuse us. And generally, a devotee, when he commits mistake, he doesn't estimate. He tries to rectify it, and he doesn't try to. Right? He will not repeat the same mistake. He will apologize for it. He will admit for it. He will pray for it. He will try to rectify it. So, and he will repent. He will sincerely repent and regret for it. That sincere repentance is like a fire that burns all the reactions to our sins. The sincere repentance of a devotee and Krishna's forgiving nature are sufficient to relieve the devotee from sin, accidental sins. But if it is an intentional sin, yes, they may have to experience some reaction. Fine.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Last question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So I would like to extend the question of the sin which was asked earlier, and with some real-time example that today morning I was getting a Krishna book packed to give to some birthday gift, and that guy asked me a question that, hey, why you are giving a Krishna book as a gift? And I told him that, hey, we are giving Krishna to someone. And he said that, hey, you will give this book to someone, but he will throw it somewhere and then he will get sin and all. My question is that a lot of people doesn't come to, they stay away from this whole spiritual matter or bhakti because of the sin. So how should we take that things, and this is even that a regular question for the book distribution as well.
We may encounter so many categories of people while distributing books or while trying to reach Krishna consciousness. However, the bona fide candidates for receiving spiritual knowledge are those who are innocent or ignorant, not those who are arrogant. If they're ignorant people, you can educate them. If they're arrogant people, it may be, or it will be difficult to educate them. But so a person consciousness will have to deal with 4 categories of people in 4 ways. Okay. Prema, Maitri, Kripa, Upeksha. Prema. Such a person loves the Lord. Maitri. He makes friendship with devotees of the Lord. Kripa. He will show mercy towards innocent or ignorant people. Upeksha. He will stay away from envious people, arrogant people. So when somebody is arguing too much, and if it is beyond your capacity to convince them, no problem. Let someone else who is better than us deal with them. So let me just focus on some other people. Instead of showing the book and convincing one person for 1 hour to take one on the way to Krishna book, better show that book to 100 other people, and at least 20 people will take in that same 1 hour, right? So just catch people who have simple faith, who are innocent, who are pure-hearted, or at least who are willing to hear, instead of spending so much time on convincing people who may not be so much eager to take us, and they may waste our time, they may disturb our faith, sometimes they may disturb our mood, right? So better avoid such people at this moment. Let them be dealt. You can pray for them, that you can do. You can give prasad to them, they'll be happy. Many people, when you give prasad, they'll be happy. Some people, they don't even accept prasad also, that's their thing. Once we were traveling in train, and some beggar kind of person came, so asking for some money. So we took out one banana, prasadam of the Lord, and then gave it to the beggar. Took the prasadam and threw it in the train window. The prasadam went through the train, like came for begging, but they are not willing to accept anything other than money. We don't want your prasadam. We want only money. Just on our face only, they just threw it into the window. What can we do? So no point trying to convince such people at this moment. Yeah, there may be some very pure devotees who can transform anyone just by their mere presence, or to speak of speaking. But when we don't have that bandwidth, better move ahead and catch simple people. Okay. Thank you very much. Very happy to hear your questions. I think I found question answer session more interesting than the class itself. Next time we'll have a Q&A instead of class.
Yes, for the in-person meeting, I think there are going to be a lot of questions, and thank you. We are really, really grateful for you. I think this is really enlightening. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. My humble pranams to all of you, and my best wishes to all the children here, and to all of you who are trying to spread Krishna consciousness to the best of your ability in various ways. Hare Krishna.